Springin spiders sees us back into the hollows of giant trees. Despite their beauty, these ones are full of spiders, bees, and vermin. I mean, still beats Frankston, right? This is part 10 of Overthinking Donkey Kong Country 3. That was a shit and very Melbourne specific joke. Frankston's actually alright. It just has a reputation of being a wasteland full of crackheads. Before we talk about the level itself, just look at the visuals here. The reddish pink wood and soft blue background just works so well, and is a great way to switch it up from Barrel Shield Bust Up. It's such a DKC3 looking level too. We meet the yellow Nid here, who works like the red one but never stops. They are a large part of this level, and arguably the focal point, if not for the reappearance of Squawks. Oh yeah, Squawks returns from the final level of DKC2 here. He is optional, but heaps of fun. One thing I really dig about this is the level splits into two paths. So if you don't get Squawks, this quarter or so of the level will unfold completely differently. I've always considered this level a sort of spiritual sequel to Squawks' Shaft. They're almost in the exact same place as each other, being the back end of the second world, and they're both vertical. I don't know, it's just something I've felt since I was little. The red Nids all but take over after Squawks' cameo, and are a bit of a double-edged sword. Necessary to progress, but will push you into enemies if you're not careful. Things get a bit more complicated when the red Nids come into the picture, but I don't know, it's never that hard. The level is a bit long though, I will say that. So far, it feels like all of DKC3's levels have given us a bit more bang for our buck than the previous two games. But longer isn't always better, title of your sex tape. The original Donkey Kong Country was known for having these levels you could just sprint through. Rolling, swinging, bouncing, stampeding. They have this kinetic, flow state quality about them that just flicks my brain's dopamine bean. Donkey Kong Country 2 mostly did away with that, but had a bigger emphasis on exploration and dynamics, with levels often crescendoing up to these difficult, yet rewarding, sort of final exams at the end. Donkey Kong Country 3's approach is different to either game, but it doesn't seem like any one direction is a conscious choice. Levels rarely build or elaborate upon ideas, and just kind of go on. Anyway, I can't think of much to say in terms of story, and nothing in the overworld really helps us here. I will say this, the crazy amount of spiders present in the level could be a subtle tip-off as to the end of world boss. Maybe we're entering the part of the forest that is Aric's domain. It's a bit of a stretch, but it's not impossible, right? Shit, to take it a step further, maybe we're starting to see why these trees weren't cut down. Maybe the loggers, be they Kremlings or whoever, were chased out of the forest by Aric and his spider buddies. I mean, we've got all the logging gear still here, the sawmill more or less abandoned, and a shit ton of spiders all over the place, just making themselves at home. Stupider things have been said by smarter people. You know, between this level and the one after, I'd say Kremwood Forest ends really strong. It gets off to a good start too, it's just that it saves its best stuff for last. We're done with tree levels for the time being, though they will reappear later in some very creative ways. Bobbing Barrel Brawl's up next, one of the most gorgeous environments in the game, and for her third appearance in two worlds, the triumphant return of Ellie.